Hey guys, and we're back with the part 2 of our top-down learn how to park game. We're in part 1, and we're going to be doing the menu, and then we're going to be working on level 1, and then that's the end of this episode. In the next episode, we're actually going to be dealing with the last two levels, in which they get, from hard to harder. They also deal with a whole lot more, like, in-game items, and a whole lot more, bounding boxes, some physics, and all that stuff. So I'm gonna, keep it simple and, so you guys can follow step by step. Alright, so we're gonna go back to our menu. So here's our menu, and it has nothing in it at all. Like, seriously, there's no code, there's no nothing, so that's what we're gonna do. We're going to apply some code to this. Alright. So in our other menu, we have music, but we also have, if you put your mouse over something, we have an arrow appear. So that's what we're going to be doing in this level. So in the menu, so we have 4_game menu. So we're going to go to event sheet 4, and we're going to say if mouse, so click on the mouse, is over object, over what? Well, over the play button. We're going to set something to be invisible. So we want, or something to be visible. So sprite 13. Let's see, sprite 13 is going to be visible. Set visible. There we go. But what we want to do is add an event and say at start, they're going to be both invisible. So at start of layout, copy that, be invisible. And then we want to copy it again, and then we want to say we want another sprite. So we'll go back, and then that's sprite 13, so we want sprite 14. Be invisible. So set that as invisible. Okay, and then we want to copy that, the cursor over command, and then we want to say we want this to now be exit. Next, actually, cursor over. So go to mouse, on object clicked, and not clicked over. Exit, done. So there we go. Oop. And we'll actually want to change this to which one is going to be visible and invisible. See, and then we want to say if the mouse is over our blue background, we want both to be invisible. Okay, let's go back to our original one to see what's going on. Okay, so we got an opacity going on. That's what it is. We also have else events going on. Okay, so what we need to do is click right on it, add an else event, and say else is invisible or visible. And then we want to drag that one up here and change it to sprite 14 is invisible, visible, and then set it to invisible. So when the mouse is over sprite 8, it's going to be visible, else invisible, and so on and so forth. Okay, so there we go. Oh, on exit, it's not working, so we have to figure out why. So on play, it's working. So sprite 13, next visible. Okay, and now all I have to do is just change the sprite to 14. Hold on one second. There's a lot of debugging when you're making a game. Visible, invisible, visible, invisible. So on sprite 17, sprite 13, visible, else sprite 13, and we want to make sure that we actually click on that one, so sprite 13. Invisible. Exit is still saying so that means we need to set this to 14. There we go. I also really like this debugging layout because it tells us how many frames per second we're going, the collision detection, and it really says, you know, how much CPU and power you're using. Okay, now that we've got that down, and let's import some music. So go to music, import music. Luna Park, Funky Cruises, we're going to import that. Then what we're going to say is insert new object. We should already have it imported, so it's already supported in our system. So what we're going to say is that on default, I'm going to set on default our music to be muted, so it's gonna have like no sound, but it's gonna be playing. Alright, so on start of layout, audio is set silent. No, set stop. So we don't have anything playing at all. So let's see. Event, and I think I'll change it to where we are playing music. And let's keep it kind of low. So system on start of layout. Audio, play, cruises volume 1, tag. I'm going to call it tag it, and I'm going to call it track 1 or underscore 1. I like using underscores. And our volume is going to be 20, and it's going to be looping. So when we run it, there we go. Okay, and then when we click on the actual sound tab, so I'm going to add a comment, mute music. See, when mouse object is clicked, it's going to be sound sprite, done. It's going to audio, it's going to stop, track underscore 1, and then it's going to change the sprite. So you go to animations, set frame 1. Should be 1. Oh no, I need to change animation. Rename to sound off. So when we play it, there we go. And then we need to do it to where it's going to enable the music. So what I'm going to say is object click, right, double click. Sprite is going, so yeah, I had that right. Object clicked, but we're going to say double clicked on sprite, done. And then what we're going to do is we're going to clone this. Actually, not that one. But the set sprite stuff we're going to. And then we're going to add action, audio, play, funky, looping, set it to 20, tag is going to be track underscore 1, done. And we need to set animation to sound on, done. So when we get something, it's going to mute, but when we one click off, double click on. Now what we can do is we add a tag. So if mouse over, it's going to add tag. And what we can do to do that is do a text box. And I'm going to edit the text box. So this is one click sound on, 2 click sound off. Or yeah, no, actually it's the reverse of that. 1 click sound, if I can spell, Alright, so we're actually going to set this as non-visible. So we're actually going to clone one of these. Copy. Mouse over music button. This is totally optional if you actually wanted to go this far into it. I just like giving you guys options. So cursor is over what? It's over sprite 10. Done. We're gonna say, we're gonna set something visible text. Set visible. Else, we're gonna set sprite or the text as actually visible. We want visible, not invisible. There we go. Invisible. So when we hit play, so we're gonna click it. So when our mouse is over, it's saying 1 click sound off, 2 click sound on. Now we could say, let's see if this is gonna work. Yeah, we're gonna have to say 2 clicks for that to work. Okay. So our system works so far. So I'm gonna go back to the beginning to show what we have. So we're gonna go way back to Studio ID, run layout. We have the logo, or nothing so far. You have the game engine logo. We have a loading scene. We have our menu. We have the ability to mute music. And now all we need to do is actually enable these buttons. Alright, so we're going to add a layout. So add layout, add event sheet, always add event sheet. We're going to say 5. We're going to say level scene. There we go. And that's for level. Okay, well, I call it level sheet, but it's the same thing. This. The ability to choose your level. And this actually is pretty basic for now. So we're going to insert a new object. We're going to say it's going to be, actually we could just, since we already have this object, I think. Yeah, tiled background. We're going to drag and drop it from the projects. Okay. And I'm going to insert a new something, and it's going to be a sprite. And it's going to be a button. That's 1, and then I'm going to rename it called Blue Button. And then I'm going to add a frame. I'm going to insert the button being pushed down. So we have 0 and 1. Okay. Alright, so when we don't need, okay, that's our other one. Yeah, it's this one. Okay, so we need to keep track of which level we're on so we don't edit anything we don't want to. But okay, we need to go back to our game menu. And when we click on add comment, next scene, yeah, we're gonna say mouse on click, play button, next, system, go to next layout, level scene, and then we're done with this one. for now. And we're going to say, let's see, mouse on object clicked. What we're going to click sprite, done. It's going to set animation, and what was the animation? So we need the name. It's going to be blue button. So we're going to copy that. Go to the code and say play blue button. Now we're going to run the layout. And what I want to do is play around with the speed. What I also want to do is I want to disable this fade thing. No, it's not active on start. So we run it. I want this button to be a little bit faster, so I'm going to reset it. We'll set it to 8. Run it. Okay, that's good. But what I want to do is play from current frame, and then play from beginning. You really want it to look really good, so a lot of testing. Okay, that's gonna be good. And what happens when we click on it? Well, we're gonna set a wait. So it's gonna wait for about 1 second, and then it's gonna go to the next scene. So the next scene, or the next layout, add layout, add event sheet is going to be, no, we named it basics to driving. Okay. Rename to be 6_basics to driving. Okay. Go to the next layout. Basics to driving. Yes. Make sure you're on the right scene. Click on it. Boom, we hit the next one. Alright. Now we have our basics to driving set up, and we're going to import a tile. So what I want to do is I want to right click, insert import object, and I want to say tile map. Click, use for go to parking pack, go to sprite sheets, click on this. Go to tile maps, and then what I'll actually want to do and something you really would have to, or you really have to do, or you know, something I would suggest is when you import it, click on the crop transparent edges, because sometimes it allows a little bit, like a couple pixels outside what is, like, you know, needed for like safety reasons. But what I usually do is I hit the crop and then I can edit, else it's gonna maybe have a couple, the little square that you see when I select is gonna be a little bit out. So I'm gonna have some concrete over here. It's not going to be like epically pretty, but add some concrete over here. Okay. I have some warning signs. So, you know, you can't go beyond this point. We need some grass. There we go. But we'll go with that, and let's see, some parking spaces. We'll go with that, and then we'll just put some warning signs up here. You can't go beyond this line. Okay. Now just make these kind of dark. So that they're like, okay, this is where you park. And then the dotted lines. Yeah, I know, I'm making a mess. This is driving school. They want you to know where to park. Okie dokie. And now, get some gray. Do that gray. And then hand tile in all this gray. This is like your safe zone. And then you're supposed to park. And then we'll do some collision boxes so that if you collide into them, it's kind of a game over. Okay. Okay, so for our collision boxes, let's make sure we have everything we need. I'm actually just gray out this zone. I think that'll work for now. Okay, so for collision boxes, insert new object. We're going to say that we want a sprite, but we're going to color it a red so that we can see it. Okay, we're going to zoom out. I'm going to place this all along the front end. And then what I want to do is I want to set its opacity to 40 so we can see it but not really see it. Okay, and now what I want to do is I want to set its behavior as a solid object so we cannot go through it. And I'm going to copy it, paste another one, and then we go. Paste another one. So this is going to be our bottom one. And paste another one so we can't leave. Alright. Insert new object, sprite. We want a car. So we're going to go to parking pack, PNG, cars. And let's do a regular blue car. Oh, let's do pickup. And what we want to do is click on it and rotate it. Okay. There we go. Hit play. Actually, nothing's gonna happen yet. We need to enable behaviors. Car behavior. Run layout. And as you can see, the car is kind of like really kind of like, hey, I'm a hockey puck, I'm gonna go everywhere. But as you can see, we cannot hit anything. We keep bouncing off of it. So let's add some real effects to it. So our max speed, I'm going to play around with this, it's going to be 150. Acceleration is going to be 60. Deceleration is going to again be 150. Steer speed, 100. Drift recover, 200. Friction, 1. And we'll see how that runs. Okay, so everything looks good. So we got brakes, so okay. Deceleration 200, friction 4. I'm gonna see what that does. Okay, so I like that a whole lot more. Oops, and we popped out. Alright, so let's run on layout again. And we just hit a wall and disappear, so that may be our friction. So I'm gonna have to set that back to 1. And acceleration. See what happens now. Yeah, so we hit it, but it doesn't do anything to us, so we're good. Alright, so like I said, this was going to be easy. In this level, this parking. Now what we need to do is insert a new object, hit sprite. We want this to be green. And we want its opacity to be 40 as well. And we're told to park in this extremely large parking lot. Move the detection box over here. Okay. And then what we want to do is, in the code, if the truck is overlapping 18, then go to the next layout. Actually, we're going to reset layout. Restart layout. Okay, now we need to set the truck. Z order top of layer. Play around with the detection. You want to get this really good because, you know, you could just decide, hey, you know what, I'm going to park my car sideways. Because that's, you know, totally legal. As soon as I can get the truck over there. So what we have to do is edit it so where you actually literally have to get your truck over there. Okay. And then I'm going to set up micro boxes between each collision or each parking space. So when we run layout, you can't decide park, you have to literally go in. There we go. Alright, so we're now going to set up a insert new box, text box, okay, and set the font so it's a little bit bigger. And what you do is when clicked on text 2, we're going to set it invisible. So say visible. Run layout. Park the car in the green zone to pass this test. It should be easy. Click. Okay, now all we need to do is, before we restart layout, I'm going to say wait 2 seconds. So restart layout, it's go to layout, game, and level scene. And instead of click that, I'm going to say click anywhere. On any click. Boom. Alright. Alright guys, that's going to be the end of this episode. In the next one, we're going to continue on by adding the last 2 levels, and then we're going to add extra features such as an info page to say, hey, I forgot what to do, what should I do, moving characters in the other 2 levels, going back buttons, some clicking sounds, maybe a scoring page, and that will be the end of this series. So hopefully guys you enjoyed it, and I will see you in the next episode.